2nd Ezra 14 and verse 16. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone, who rule very well, very beautifully. Double salutations to the Akim out here pushing his gospel in truth and in sincerity to the best of their ability, given to them by Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. Peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect scattered abroad. May the election of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Lord willing, fall upon your houses. And I'll read this again. This is 2nd Ezra 14 and verse 16. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. Right? And that's, looking at the, the times that we're in, right? The Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai giving us those signs with upwards of the people, right? Famines, wars, rumors of wars, earthquakes, so on and so forth, right? As it says in Matthew 24 verse 8, right? That all these are the beginning of sorrows, man. Right? And we've gone into this over and over and over again, but nonetheless, we're still going to touch on it, man, because these are the times that we're in, and this is what's happening as of right now, right? And the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai commanded us, right, to be watchmen, right, and to ultimately warn you people, right? Thus saith the Lord, man, right? And you go here, in this article right here, it says America is going to shut down if we don't shut down. Right, so ultimately they're talking about how another shutdown is going to happen because, right, as we get into this article, you understand that it's because of, the supply chain, right, is ultimately, crumbling, right? It says the Mississippi River's water levels are near record lows, and it's wreaking havoc on one of the U.S. most critical supply chains, right, man? And we've been seeing, we've been seeing, right, for a while now, a lot of these rivers and lakes, right, drying up, right, and they're hitting record lows, right? That's something that you hear a lot, right? Record lows, or record temperatures, or whatever. You hear about those things, man. New records are being set, so to speak, man. You got Lake Mead, Lake Powell, both of those are at very, very low levels right now, man. Right? You had that river or that lake or whatever that was in that's in Spain, right? And you had those that new structure sort of pop up, out of the blue, man. Right? And then you're having a lot more, ancient type structures start to pop up that were under the water, man. Right? They're popping up, man. Why? Because water levels are extremely low, right? Which shows you that we're in an extreme drought, and that the Lord, is causing this drought. Let's grab this precept real quick. In Psalms, the 107th chapter, and verse 33, right? Because this is exactly what the Lord's doing, right? Psalms 107, verse 33. He turneth rivers into a wilderness, and the water springs into a dry ground. Right, man? So this is what the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai is doing. He's drying everything up, which ultimately is affecting, crops. It's affecting, people's drinking water. It's affecting, as we're going to get into, it's affecting, these cargo ships being able to bring inland, food and other consumer goods, man, right? Let's go ahead and get into this article, right? It says the Mississippi River's water levels are at their lowest point in a decade, right? Which, as we read further, you're gonna, it's a lot longer than a decade, right? It says traffic jams and stuck barges are clogging up a critical artery of the U.S. economy as a prolonged drought pushes the Mississippi River's water levels to near record lows. It says around 500 million tons of supplies are ferried along the Mississippi River every year, with trade value worth $130 billion, right, according to the Port of New Orleans. Mainly agricultural products like corn and soybeans, along with fuel products. The Mississippi River Basin produces more than 90% of U.S. agricultural exports, according to the National Park Services. Right, so this is not just affecting, food, water, right? This is affecting even the gas, man, right? So we had just hit a point, right, where, you know, gas went up a little bit, right? Now you're starting to see, you know, it's starting to creep down. So like, right, 10, 20 cents is starting to creep down, right? You know, but at the same time as you have those Nord Stream pipelines being destroyed, as well as, you know, OPEC, you know, basically raising prices for America on their oil. You know, and with this going on, prices are about to skyrocket immensely, man. Right? There's too many things, right, that are ultimately, as far as just gas alone, right, that are going to cause, you know, these gas prices to skyrocket, man. Right? But let alone food, because every time gas goes up, food goes up, man. That's just how it is, right? It's inflation, and soon we're gonna see hyper inflation, man. Right? Is when everything goes up 5, 6, 7, maybe even 1,000%. Right? So $5 for a loaf of bread, you know, we're talking about 10 times that price, man. Right? So $50 for a loaf of bread, and it might not be that extreme. It could be $15, $20 for a loaf of bread, man. You know, maybe even $25, right? But let's keep going. It says the Mississippi River Basin produces more than 90% of U.S. agricultural exports, according to the National Park Services, and nearly 80% of the world's grains exports. Right, man? You know, and that's huge, man. You know, so again, with what's going on, you know, with Mississippi, it's not only going to affect America, right, but it's going to affect the rest of the world as well. But again, right, just dealing with, you know, you Americans, man, hey, you're in for, you know, a rude awakening, man, right? Because ultimately, you people are in this mentality, you know, that America is going to be able to come out of this rut that America is in, right? But the scriptures say contrary, right? Let's go ahead and grab that real quick. It's Jeremiah 51. And we'll jump to point in verse 8, right? It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Right, man? You know, it says, how for her, take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. That's right. So ultimately, you know, you got a lot of these politicians and, you know, higher ups, man. They're trying to ultimately try to figure out what they can do to get America back to this, you know, their the state in which it was in, right? Or to try and get it into a better state, right? They got that Build Back Better, you know, with the Biden, you know, administration, and then you got the Trump administration with the, you know, Make America Great Again, right? So they ultimately have the same agenda, right? So it's just a facade that these two parties, you know, are against each other, when in reality they have the same agenda, right? But there's no way, no matter what, no matter how much you change the slogan, or no matter what you add to the slogan or add to the policy, America's not going to come back, right? Verse 9, it says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, let us go everyone to his own country, for her judgment reacheth not to heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. Slakia. Right, man. So America is not ever going to come back from this, you know, from this rut that it's in. Right, America is done for, man. Right, the American economy, right, is losing right now, man. You even got the economists talking about how America, in the next year, right, beginning of 2023, right, America's going to start losing 175,000 jobs a month, right? And that's a lot of fucking jobs, man. Where that's 12 months, you know, 175,000 times 12, man. That's you know, a few million jobs being lost, man. And that's a few million people losing their jobs, man. And let them be business owners, man. Right? Let them be business owners to where they can't, you know, with the interest rates going up and this, that, and the third, all these things are skyrocketing, and let them lose their job. That not only affects them, but that affects others as well, man. Right? Let's say it's a small mom and pop and you got a 10-person crew, right? If you lose your business, 10 other people just lost their job as well, man. You know? So a lot of businesses are going to be lost. A lot of people are going to lose out on working, right? Which is then going to trickle down. It's like a snowball rolling downhill. I've always said that, man, right? Which is you're going to lose your car, you're going to lose your house, you're going to be in a very, very bad situation, man. These are the times that we're ultimately approaching, man. because of, you know, what the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai is doing to America, man. And the Lord is destroying America from the inside out, right? The inside out, right? This is usually how, you know, it goes, man. You know, you got society reaching, you know, its peak wickedness. And what happens, the Lord starts to destroy it from the inside out until he could physically, right? You know, like he did Sodom and Gomorrah. He had that fire and brimstone being brought down, right? And destroyed that place because of its wickedness, right? Because of the ungodly. And well, this is what the Lord's doing. He's destroying it from the inside out. And soon he's going to destroy America, right? With ICBM nuclear fire, right? For the wickedness that is happening in the earth, man, right? And again, it's only going to get worse, man, you know? So let's keep going. I'm going to drop down and where it says, right here at the very top, it says at least 2,000 barges were backed up along the river last week. Bloomberg reported, citing data from the U.S. Coast Guard. Also last week, the Coast Guard warned that at least heavy 8 barges had become grounded in particularly shallow parts of the river, right? So not only is it, you know, the water level is dropping, but people are getting stuck, which is, you know, causing further problems, right? It's blocking the traffic, you know, that could, you know, ultimately pass through, right? It says with fewer barges able to navigate the river and longer wait times, prices are starting to go up. That's right, man. Right? It says it's definitely having an impact on the local economy because the commercial use of this river has almost completely stopped. George Flaggs, mayor of Vicksburg, Mississippi, told local news channel WAPT earlier this week, adding that the river around Vicksburg is the lowest he's seen it in nearly 70 years, right? So they're talking about the lowest in 10 years in the beginning of the article. No, it's the lowest that has been in almost 70 years, man. You know, that's a very long time, man, you know, right? It says this will actually affect us in a very negative way. We have to have less cargo on our barges and less tonnage moving. It affects our revenues, right? It says it's the worst possible time for a drought in the Mississippi, as early fall is typically when grain is harvested in the Mississippi Basin and sent down the river. Soybeans are the most commonly shipped commodity on the river, according to the Bureau of Transportation statistics, but the low water levels are throwing the supply chain into chaos, right, man? Right, so, you know, you got all these grains, right, soybeans and so on and so forth are ultimately being produced, right, and distributed from, you know, the Mississippi, right? So, hey, they, you know, with the barges being closed and everything like that, hey, guess what? Mississippi got it, right? Everybody in that area, right, is able to eat. But what about those that rely on those grains coming to them, right? Hey, they're ultimately fucked, man, right? And again, it's just gonna get bad for you people, man. Especially all these people that are out here, you know, not paying attention, man, right? Because you got a lot of people that, you know, come to the parks or go to work on a regular daily basis, right, that are not paying attention to what's happening around them, man, right? They're in that flood-like mentality, right, where they were drinking, marrying, giving in marriage, right, and knew not until the flood came, as it says in Luke the 17th chapter, man, right? These people are not paying attention at all to anything, right? And we could be done reading that. Y'all could ultimately look that up, right? But I want to grab this. 2nd Ezra 7 and verse 16, right? It says right here, it says, why hast thou not considered in thy mind the thing that is to come rather than that which is present? Because again, a lot of our people are stuck on this have fun, go party type mentality, right? I got a lot of my coworkers and they're always going out, right? They're always going to the club, you know, and talking about going and, you know, fucking bitches and this, that, and the third, right? But that's not what it's about, man, right? All that shit is, you know, as the scriptures say, all those things that are seen are temporal, man, right? Going out, having a good time, this, that, and the third. It says, in Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter, it says the house of fools is in the house of mirth, man, but the house of the wise is in the house of mourning, right? So you going and being in that party-like mindset, you being in that, you know, let's go have fun type mindset, hey, well, you're not in the right mindset, man. Hey, you should be focused on the things that are coming, the things that are ultimately going to affect you in the long run, man. You know, hey, the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai is not joking, man. You know, this is why you have to get right. The prophets are out here warning you, right? Blowing that trumpet, right? And a warning is ultimately, basically, matter of fact, let's grab that real quick. Because again, these are what the prophets are doing. You could look up Ezekiel 3:17, right? Give them warning for me, as the scriptures say, man. Let's look up that word warning, right? It says a notice beforehand of the consequences that will probably follow continuance in some particular course, right? So the consequence of you continuing to not pay attention will be these hardships coming upon you and overtaking you to where you're not able to come out of them, man. And it will either, and most likely will lead to your death, man. So that again, it says a message informing of danger. That's right, man. Right, and we just read in 2 Ezra the 14th chapter, the 16th verse, that greater evils than thou hast seen shall happen. Right, and again, we're in the time of evils, man. Right, we're in the time of evils increasing in the earth, man. Right, it says cautionary advice about something imminent, especially imminent danger or other unpleasantness. So everything that we read is going into something that's ultimately negative. It's something that's ultimately bad, something that you don't want to partake in. And this is what we're warning you of, man. You're either going to take heed or you're not. It's just the bottom line, man. And hey, man, it's getting real bad out here, man. It's getting real bad out here. So you're either going to take heed or you're not. Acts 3:23, he that does not take heed unto the prophet, right, shall be destroyed from among the people. So with that, Lord will is edifying, Lord will is straight to the point, Lord will is informative. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim, Al-Shai, Bashim, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect scattered abroad. Till next time, we'll say shalom.